when we were making the film, we actually saw it as a marriage movie about a happily married couple, Brian Clough and Peter Taylor, where the husband is diverted by an obsession with a impossibly beautiful woman who he thinks he can capture, and then when he finally confronts her, the woman kind of goes, maybe imagine Giselle, I don't even know who you are, I don't give a fuck about you, what are you talking about? And he has to go humiliated back to the wife and say, please forgive me. So I think if you look at our underlying conceit in that narrative, Don Revie didn't care about Brian Clough as much as Clough cared about him, and I think that's the destructive nature of professional jealousy, is that it can so distort the object of your rivalry. It was interesting how, I mean, there are two sequences: the cleaning sequence where Clough obsessively cleans the change room, and the scene where he hides in his office rather than going out to watch the match. And at the time we shot the film, we didn't have anecdotal evidence to support this. It was just a gut instinct that it was Clough-like. I found myself back at the Leeds ground, Ellen Road, last week in search of a stadium to stand in for 1925 Wembley for my next film, which I'm shooting in 8 weeks. And there, first of all, was Leeds United, with everywhere the billboard saying "The Damned United," and under the Don Revie stand there was this huge sign saying "The Damned United," which was pretty bizarre. But also I spoke to the groundsman, who when we were shooting, as you can imagine, was on the verge of pathologically hostile to us, and he'd finally seen the film and loved it, and he said, people have been saying that Clough wouldn't clean the change room. Let me tell you a story. This guy, in his early 20s, had been an assistant groundsman at Nottingham Forest in 1975. On his first day of work, it was his job to clean the dressing room up. So he goes into the dressing room just after play started, and there's Brian Clough. And Brian Clough says, "What are you doing here, lad?" And he says, "Well, I've come to clean up." And he goes and grabs the broom, and Brian Clough snatches the broom away from him and says, "Go and enjoy the match, I'll clean up." And so this 21-year-old went and enjoyed the game while Brian Clough swept, cleaned, polished, and didn't watch anything of the first half. And so there was this groundsman confirming these instincts that Peter and we all had after the event, which I thought was kind of a great validation of it. But I mean, in terms of in terms of how that sequence, which is probably my favourite scene as well, it was just.
It's our first day as well, wasn't it?
It was our first day, first afternoon. I mean, it was finding that ground and finding that physical relationship of the windows that were actually embedded in the stand, and then I just got this visual idea that when goals were scored, people could block the light, and that there would be this flickering play of light on Brian. So it came out of the luck of the location.